there's a lot of negativity on this video. This is me talking about how cheap it is and how easy it is to now build software. The first thing I want to address with the comments here, I think a lot of them have misunderstood what I was saying. A lot of like, nah, this is never going to happen, and fake news. You don't need an engineering degree to vibe code. A few of them seem to think I was talking about that people can build SaaS applications and then sell them, and there's a lot of commentary around the maintenance that's involved in building SaaS. You know, security, databases, and all the rest of it. I'm not talking about rebuilding SaaS. I'm saying SaaS is dead because people will be empowered to build their own software. They're like, instead of paying for zero, why don't I just build my own little tool, and I don't need to pay for anything external. I've got a sponsor that I'm chatting to right now, which makes it even easier to use your iPhone to build native apps. So again, why would I pay £3 a month for this meditation app? I'll just build my own meditation app. It's like it's easy now. So this is what I'm saying here. It's now very surprising to me, and I want you to challenge me on this, right? People lack this ability, or people just don't have this ability to think progressively. They're kind of like, there's two aspects, because AI has faults, right? They're locked into the current way that AI messes up, and it hallucinates, and it gets things wrong. But for whatever reason, lack the ability to really just project into the future and say, well, actually, a year and a half ago, or maybe 2 years ago, Will Smith eating spaghetti was an absolute mess. But now you probably couldn't tell the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Well, you probably could, but it was exaggeration. But the exponential progression, all you've got to do is extrapolate that into the future and say, well, why won't we be able to build apps? Why won't normies be able to build apps in the future? I don't necessarily enjoy or agree or want this future that I'm speaking about. Heck, I'm frantically trying to become a better AI developer. Well, I mean, I kind of enjoy it, but like, if it was my choice, I would just keep with my current skill set and just make money off my current skill set. But no, I've got to retrain now. I'd prefer not to have to retrain. I'd prefer just to be able to. But I'm reading the tea leaves, and I'm thinking, right, I need to prepare for a future that I see, whether I want it or not.
I think a lot of it is because we had ChatGPT 3.5, which was the best, like the thing that got the most attention at the start, right? Since then, have we gotten like a true big update? I think not really, not something fundamentally different, because anything from the we went from the old AI to the transformers that Google introduced, and then the new transformers since GPT 3.5, I believe, if I'm not wrong, they haven't gotten a massive upgrade. Maybe that's why people don't see these AI tools being able to do anything like truly meaningful and big. Right now, we can do a lot of prototyping, and it seems like the rate we definitely have a progress in the complexity of the prototypes that we can make, and even MVPs in some on some level. But to create something like making Notion, that's not something that AI can do anytime soon.
No one's saying soon. And, I'm not saying with the AI that we have now. I'm saying just extrapolate what we have, how far we've come in 2 years, and paint that into the future on an undetermined time frame.
Can I play devil's advocate and
Sure.
be like advocate for the comment section? Well, if you do the same thing with the moon landing, we should have been now somewhere else in the galaxy, but we haven't gotten back even to the freaking moon. We are not we can't say for sure like tech will evolve the way that we imagine it will. The same thing that happened with cars. We thought we will have like flying cars, but we still don't. But it's physically impossible to have flying cars, and I don't mean like, yes, we do have flying cars right now, but it's physically impossible for all of us to like have it as a norm to have flying cars, because to move that amount of air is extremely loud. I have a drone here. Like, my neighbors get annoyed by this, let alone with, a freaking car. Yeah. So we get overexcited about so many things, and we think that, okay, take the current thing and just scale it in whatever direction, just scale it up, we'll get to the moon. But we don't always. And with software, I'm honestly not convinced that the current models can get us there. Anything that can happen obviously will happen if we given enough time. But I'm not sure if, let's say, in the next 10 years, I'm not sure. And Anru Karpathy, I don't know if you've seen that video of him that I mentioned last week. He's the AI guy. He's an AI scientist. He's done research. He knows how to code these AI models. He has done the work in the field. And he's saying that these agentic models are a decade away, not a few years.
With the moon landing, or go flying to the moon, it's not technology that's holding us back. It's actually learning that, well, there's no reason to go to another planet. Really, we need to be looking at Sirius A, whatever it's called, the closest star. The reason why I bring that up as well is like, and this goes both ways, is more so a socio-economic factor, which is, once again, this in my opinion, restrictive thinking, in that we apply our current understanding of the world around us and are unable to, like, we put the world around us into the future, and it's like, well, you can't do that. And I'm always reminded of what Reimar was saying. What was the phrase he said? Like, we're ancient hardware running in medieval software, living in the future, or something to that
Yeah.
effect. Like, we're always kind of playing catch up, and we're always kind of, we're never fully in the. I mean, for that matter, we can't imagine it, but like, I think what we care about will be different. You mentioned a browser. This is a very stupid example, and I don't want to labor on the browser thing, but there will be a few. There's no reason to think of or care about building a browser anymore, right? In the future,
Yeah.
it might be that people don't feel the need. We might be living in a future where SaaS dies because, you know what? AI is off doing everything, and there's universal income, and we're not working anymore. SaaS might die because of that, not because of people building their own applications. We need to understand that the world we operate in, the world model that we operate in, is not going to be the same as what we operate in now. The things we care about, the things we do, the thing our day to days just will look very, very different. And the quickest, easiest example I can give on that is COVID. How that came, a year of our lives, maximum 2 years, completely has changed everything. And now we just know no different, and we just don't even think about it.
Yeah.
This is now a new world model that you could not have. One, you couldn't have anticipated it, but you also could not apply the things we did, and the things we like. Now people care. Like, I know mothers who care so much more about the being there, raising their kids. They care that so much more because they have access to it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, this whole
It
the
does make
world
sense.
model.
It totally makes sense, and this is what I'm saying about predictions. We did in the past over predict and under underpredict things. We sometimes
Always.
overestimate and underestimate. A good example, and it's quite funny, is wireless power. There was a time where people thought every device will run on wireless power. We won't have any cable to plug in anything. It will be just charged wirelessly because we
Mm-hmm.
can do it. We can actually do it, and it's like to some degree, but it's not efficient. Like we could not figure out a way, have not, at least for now, and I'm not sure even if it's possible physically, to find a way to efficiently move electricity sort of from a source to another. Even like the short distance we have with our phones, we lose like 20% minimum to the heat and things like
Mm.
this, technical stuff. But there we did think that we'll have wireless power everywhere, and we don't have it. It's not even close, and it seems like we won't have it at all. With AI, I'm not saying it's literally the same. No, it's going to obviously change the world, but I'm not super convinced as somebody who I would, by the way, call myself like very optimistic, but I'm still not very convinced by AI being to that level that some altman that is trying to sell it to us.
It's an interesting debate.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm so like amazed at how certain people are about their uncertainty, if that makes sense. It's like
Yeah,
nobody knows, nobody knows, but there's somewhat like all I know enough to know that we don't know, but all we can do is predict, and we're always looking for to the future. But some people just can't do that thing. By the way, let us know if you have comments. Like, let us know, because we will read them, and they create such amazing discussions for some of the stuff we go through. This is part of a larger conversation on my show, Command AI, which we stream live every single week. We discuss the news and all things related to AI in the world of design and web. Catch us next week and join in the banter.